Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, once again to the North American ESL Pro League. We're going actually already live into our next match here, still between EnemyGG and CLG, of course, but now it's going to be on Train. Enemy have started off with the lead here on T side now, 3-0. We're getting to you with the good part, starting off with the gun round. Mega Man, take us away.
Yeah, apologies. We had a little bit of a mix-up with the GoTV IPs. So now we're good to go, and Enemy going to be on the offensive, and it looks like it's just going to be a fast brawl towards the inside bomb site, and this could be very scary here for the CT side, as Cutler is the only one to defend, but he's going to be able to pick up two before he meets his demise. One more over here coming out connector as Fugly finds one with the assist from Tarek, and they're starting to storm in towards this inside train yard on the CLG side, trying to deny the plant, but Mainline does get it down. Relics does take down Tarek, so they're at least managing well on this 2v3 now. But Mainline going to get flanked out here from the upper side of the map. And Relics goes down as well. So the 3K on the round for Fugly. And a nice inside hold there from Cutler.
Yeah, Enemy just try for this quick execute. The problem is, though, is that CLG read it, and the rotation just comes in so swiftly, so the guys are never really given a good chance to get themselves in any sort of post-plant position where they can try and hold from. And CLG just massacre a lot of these guys out in the open, even as they were attempting to just get onto the site to begin with. So, great hold from CLG, and starting off good with the gun round.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we see Nifty picking up the AWP. We see JDM with an AWP as well now. So we're going to have that AWP-on-AWP battle. No gun for Hayes yet. Does go for the M4. Doesn't have a lot of utility behind this. Does pick up an HE grenade along with the smoke. No head armor. And this is where things get interesting because, you know, you see the lack of flashes and stuff like that on the CLG side. Well, Tarek survived, or didn't survive out of the last round, opted to go with the head armor. He could have bought an extra flash if he didn't do that. Lucky, though, trying to play the bait for Mainline here at Ivy. And JDM is going to pounce on that opportunity to find an easy, quick kill.
But Enemy slowing things down a little bit here. Still trying to line up that default, but now they've lost Lucky. The problem is going to be getting themselves in here to begin with. Mainline sitting on the outside of Ivy, but going for a slow push inside of it now. And the rest of CLG already heavily concentrated here towards that A-bomb site, making this a bit of a rough situation for Enemy to take if they still decided to go towards the same plan. We can also see Relic starting to investigate towards the back of the B-bomb site. However, the bomb itself is now re-entering in a T connector, and so it looks like they are still sticking with this plan. There's Mainline now, as he finally crept his way all the way through the Ivy tunnel, moved in, shuts down Fugly. Uber finds a second one, but Hayes is getting aggressive there. Up on top of the blue train, takes down Uber, pulling back, shuts down Mainline. Great plays from Hayes so far, but Nifty's still in this, and also Hayes screwing up getting on that ladder, so Relics is going to take him down. Now all of a sudden, it's just on to Cutler to try and clutch this in a 1v2.
Yeah, and they don't realize he's already out in front of this. This is really scary now. Relics goes down. It's all down to Nifty, the clutch master here for the enemy side. He's got the AWP. He's on top of the train. He's just looking around. They keep crossing opposite of each other here. The Nifty's just going to walk on up. Misses the no-scope, and Cutler wins the 1v2. Gets the AWP out of it for JDM. 2 rounds now on the board for CLG.
And this is going to break Enemy too, of course, with them just going for that force in the last one. Burning through all the money they had just stacked up there from their first 3 rounds, technically going very well. But they're going to force it again. Just going to try to strike right back now. 3 Tech 9s being invested into this one. 2 AKs. Decent amount of utility for the entire team here, but the execute is going to be extremely straightforward again. Moving already to the outside train yard here in CLG. They've only invested 1 player into the bomb site. He's going to try to line up a flank moving up towards ladder room there, but Lucky and Nifty picking up the first 2 kills. Moving out, they're looking for a third. They find Hazed out in the open, so it's just the cleaners out here on A. Unfortunately, I expect this one to go very poorly, but CLG actually kind of dropped the ball in their defenses, and now most of this is going to fall towards Cutler and how he can pull off this flank, but that's going to start off well, managing to pick up the kill on Nifty, but now can't find anything else, and he's slowly being surrounded.
Yeah, CLG's expecting save. They go for the force buy. This is just a textbook scenario of just an accelerated force buy working out really, really well here for the enemy side. See JDM still alive. He is going to go down. They should be able to get to that AWP in time, and they will. Oh, unfortunately, Uber picks the wrong side of the train to go down. He might have been able to get that AK out of the end of that round, but now you can see Uber reading the situation correctly. They know that they've broken the bank now for the CLG side, losing 4 members the round before that. All 5 members died this round. This time around, he's going to be on the money farm. No investment for 4 out of the 5 members of CLG. Only Cutler on the Desert Eagle, and Uber looking for some tender headshots with that MAC-10.
So outpours CLG now, again, committing a lot of their players, the usual stack as it were, but going to try to keep everybody together this time around. Unfortunately, it's going to have its own consequences. JDM holding a little bit further back there. Down for 3 kills back to back to back. Uber being the one to find 2 of them here. Mainline Relics picking up 2. Only finding 1 kill so far from the side of CLG to take down Uber, but he found a 2-for-1 trade, so it's not too bad by his accounts. Now Now it's just Cutler trying to peek out from Z, getting himself into a duel with Lucky, only managing to connect one hit, though. So Enemy are just going to waltz right through this round.
Yeah, and that's just Enemy. Last round, they went fast outside. This round, they just send that SMG, that MAC-10 outside by himself as fast as possible. And Uber actually had a great spawn. He was already out almost by E-Box before anybody had even spotted him yet. Was able to pick up 2 kills outside, pull a nice distraction for him to get inside, and they just capitalized on the round. They only lose the 1 player in the end. So nicely managed there from Selfless. And back into a gun round here. Hayes on an MP7, a scout in the hands of Tarek. So this is about as forced as you can get here on the CT side.
But still, very, very slow type of play now from Enemy, because we do have the guns in the hands of CLG. A little bit of a force up here now as the SMG goes into the hands of Hayes, and Tarek is going to try to do some work with the scout, but nonetheless, Enemy a little bit more fearful of that. It was a good pop flash that rolls in. Mainline has to fall back. Unfortunately, the pop flash also connected onto Hayes, but it has given him a position inside of T-Con, and now he's going to go for a pop flash of his own, but there's a counter pop flash thrown out by Mainline. Mainline gets dinked down to 18 HP, but still going to survive the encounter. It takes Hayes with him, along with him getting virtually 0 intelligence from that kind of play.
Yeah, and that's the big part about it, is that's just a self-sacrifice right there for a gain of information, and Hayes comes out on the big side of the losing end of that one. Not only does he not get a kill out of it, but he also doesn't get very much information, except that, hey, there's one T-Con. Whoop-de-doo! Sacrifices his life for that little bit of info. So that's a little unfortunate for CLG. Now Enemy are going to ramp things up. They're going to work their way towards inside, and this is going to be the good call. Cutler's by himself. They know that he's playing this with a silenced M4. So if they can make him dwindle down his magazine, then they should be able to open up this bomb site, and they actually do that really well. Nifty going to get the trade. They've gotten Fugly down to 10 HP. Tarek over here by Connector, and Nifty is just zoned in on this right now.
Quick attempt for the 2 remaining players on CLG, or 2 of them, to try and push their way outside of Z. It'll be a 1-for-1 exchange, but this still favors CLG now, especially since how low they have Mainline. Lucky peeking out. Good pop on the headshot to shut down Tarek. They haven't spotted JDM creeping up on these 2 final players yet. He actually gives them a little bit more room. Has the kit, but no utility to work with right now, and now he's making noise. Jumping up on top. Can't dispatch of Lucky. Spots him down. Takes him down. And Enemy find a 5th round to work with. 6th round to work with here now.
This is a completely different Lucky than we saw in Overpass. Overpass, he was having a lot of struggles. He looked a little lackadaisical in some of his sprays, a little bit slow to react on times. This time around, 9-3, right out of the gate, 8 rounds in. So definitely holding his own this matchup. Last match, I believe he was actually the most harmless player in the server. So this time around, definitely doing a lot more work for his squad. I'm just going to look at it real fast. Actually, it was Relics that was the low fragger at 11 kills. Lucky had 12 at the end of the last match. So this time around, he's already 3 kills under what he had the entirety of the last matchup.
Uber gets the double kill. Shuts down Hayes by throwing a nade over the train, and then gets a second one by rushing up the short lane to take him down. Even moves in to find Cutler, who was sort of sitting out in the open. Not sure exactly what happened with him, but there also was 2 good pickups coming out from CLG's side. Tarek and Fugly finding Lucky and Relics. But now they've been boxed out of this one. Tarek looking to line up a flank around these guys. However, Enemy with full control of the site. Going to be going for the plant at any moment here. And Uber still playing aggressively, moves out there and finds one of the final players by shutting down Fugly.
Tarek on this flank Ivy might be able to catch a couple of players by surprise. They can't imagine that they're going to know that he's coming around this side, and it is going to be mainline to fall, but Uber looking for the P90 ace, and he is actually going to get that. 4 P90 kills and a nade kill on the round. Gets the AK out of it. They lose 3 players, but the money is good now on the terrorist side of Enemy, picking up 4 rounds in a row now. So nice job here from Selfless. They get themselves a 5-round cushion and 7 rounds on the T side. Really solid start to this half.
They're going to try to build it up even more here in this round, but thankfully CLG is going to be able to throw a little bit more firepower back at them this time. Got everything they would need to work with here. But it looks like Enemy will be trying to challenge that immediately by going for the quick execute. A great pop flash is thrown over towards T-Connector, and this leaves Nifty out in the open, so JDM finds his first mark. Looking for Lucky now to peek outside of the ladder room, but also he's going to get pressured over here from the trains now. 2 players are pushing him. Lights up one of them, but stuck in the open. Thought he was behind the bomb train. That's not the case. Tarek dropping out from the train itself. Picks up a 1-for-1 trade too, but then Uber sneaking in through the smokes. He's able to find Hayes, so brings it into a 3 versus 2. And Lucky remaining aggressive, trying to shut down the flank before it even happens. Takes down Cutler. So it's just on Fugly for the defense. Peeking out, tries to take down Lucky, but even he wins that duel too. A 3K from Lucky, and he's just absolutely forcing his way through these gun rounds here from the side of Enemy.
Yeah, that's the biggest part about this is Lucky and Uber both showing up in a big way on this map right now. 12-4 for Lucky, 14-5 for Uber. Nifty at 7-5, 7-6 for Relic, 4-6 for Mainline, but they've got 8 rounds. They've already won the half. You can see a pause coming out from CLG already in the first half, and they're going, what the hell happened? Like, they won reasonably sound on Overpass just a few minutes ago, and this time around, they're getting completely mollywalloped here on Train.
Yeah, it all comes down now as we see the pause coming in from the side of CLG. I'm assuming this is going to be for tactical reasons too, since these gun rounds have just not been going their way. And Enemy is actually keeping it... Like, here's the thing with Enemy too, is Enemy is keeping things varied enough to where it continues to throw off CLG. Like, CLG just had gotten used to the slower type of play we were seeing from Enemy, but now that they get the guns back into their hands and they're expecting that same thing again, they kick it up a notch, and they just rush into their faces. And although they do a good job of holding it back initially, like I said, there was that great pop flash right at the start, and JDM was able to pick up a kill. JDM does not have any support for himself, so as soon as those players that are pushing the trains get directly up in front of him there's nowhere for him to run. He can't get himself safely behind the bomb train in time, and then slowly, one by one, the rest of the team just starts to fall apart.
And in case you're wondering, mollywop is actually a real word. It's when a grown man beats another...
Dictionary.
Yeah, when a grown man beats another grown man as if he were a girl under the age of 10. So, right. CLG getting beat like a very young female right now.
It's still might be a little bit of an inappropriate one in my books.
Yeah.
Just a bit. Family show. Not really.
Oh, please.
Anyway.
Oh, please. You can't go there with this.
I feel like you made it worse by telling people what it means. Because now, like, anybody that was, like, that didn't really know, like, now they know. And now you just dug your own grave.
I didn't dig anything. It's a video game about murder, okay? Nevertheless, we are going to see a force up here a little bit on the CT side. They do put a scout in the hands of Cutler. They pick up a Desert Eagle in the hands of Hazed. P250s for the rest. Fugly going to have the lone body armor going into this round, but really the thing is going to be how are they going to hold this inside train yard? And it's going to be Cutler up on top of the back trains trying to make something happen, but he's going to get pushed out from upper. Flashbangs come out, and he falls with no response. It's on to Tarek on the bomb site trying to make something happen. Hazed goes down. JDM goes down. And they still haven't spotted Tarek. He tries to get the bomber, but he can't even do that.
Yeah, it's just going to be another shutdown here. These ecos from CLG. Not seeing anything out of this. It's been like every North American team recently too. Very, 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 very iffy eco rounds that we're seeing from these guys. So, Enemy's just going to roll right through this one, taking minimal losses along the way. They're actually loaded at this point too. Look at this, 5.6k, 9.9k, 7.2k, 13k, and 5k. These guys have all the money in the world they need to work with.
Yeah, tons of money going out on the enemy side. And again, the best part about this is that now you see the switch up. This is what they talked about in that freeze time. Tarek going to go for the secondary op. JDM going to have the primary as well. M4s to bolster that as well. And now they try to make their hold because that outside train yard has been getting infiltrated time and time again by the enemy side. This time around it's going to be JDM at Ivy, but he takes a boatload of damage to get that killed.
JDM picks up that first shot there, managing to shut down main line. And Fugly falling back. He's going to keep himself in the same position. Now the push coming outside from Ivy there. Lucky taking down Tarek. And Hayes going to move in to try to equalize things over here outside of Ivy to keep control there. But with Enemy already picking up a first kill, you can tell they're going to be exploding out of this site pretty shortly. They can hear them moving out from Ivy now. But the connections continue to hit from the side of Enemy as Uber finding another kill, dropping down in the ladder to take down Fugly. They hold basically full control of this A-bomb, so the only one that can save things here is going to be Hayes. But since no one's checked at this position as of yet, I imagine... Here we go. Lucky's going to roll out towards it now. Hayes does take down Lucky, but immediately Uber, having control of the ladder room there, is going to be able to find a trade for it to take down Hayes. So Cutler still stuck here in the B-bomb site with nothing to do. He'll have really no choice but to save, or at least attempt to.
Yeah, really tough spot for him to be in. This is going to be a 10th round now on the T side, and if Enemy continue to stack up these rounds, I mean, this has been one of the maps that they've found a lot of success on in the past. Cutler at least gets the off, tries to hold on to this for the rest of this round, but if I'm Enemy, I'm hunting. I'm on the prowl right now because they got plenty of money. It's going to take at least 2 rounds of loss to get him to reset, and this is going into the 13th round after this, so there's only a couple rounds left in the half, so they might as well hunt, try to get this gun out of the hands of Cutler, don't let him save anything into the next round, and fully reset him again on CLG side.
So Enemy with full control of this first half now. CLG, like I've said before, just seemingly dropped the bomb at this. Enemy is actually doing a fantastic job of playing this out right now. And the money's still not even really in a good place for these guys. You take a look at it, they're going to go for a buy, but look at what's in it. You can see Fugly with a Mag 7. He'll try to play with that, I imagine, closer towards the B-bomb site. Tarek, what does he even have? I imagine there's a rifle on the ground for him somewhere, so they get another M4 for him. But with JDM investing to an op, he sacrifices a lot of utility. And to a certain degree, they may end up needing this here, depending on what kind of execute the guys from Enemy are going to try to go for this round.
Yeah, so the double op doesn't work out for him. They get the op back into the hands of JDM. Fugly's going to be playing aggressive here on ladder room. He ended up getting taken down last round. It was either him or Tarek that was close on ladder room last round and ended up losing that battle to the player jumping down. This time around, it's going to be Fugly trying to hold this one down. A lot of terrorists around this area, and a pop flash about to come down that ladder. He knows it too. He's tucked away in the corner, waiting for that flash to come out. And there it is. He's going to get the kill onto Relics. In the meantime, Tarek actually does take down Lucky, and that was one of the players that they've been having a lot of trouble with, Lucky and Uber, in this matchup. There's a nice Molotov. That's going to prevent him from picking up that rifle in ladder room as well. So, really tough spot for CLG, but they do manage to open up with 2 kills. Mainline storms on down the ladder and finds Fugly.
CLG still holding good control of the situation here. As JDM should, yep, there we go, finds the easy connection to take down Nifty. Nifty walks right into that. Not able to spot the angle for JDM fast enough. So finally, Enemy have been slighted here a little bit. As mainline is essentially just going to be bait, hopefully, for Uber. It's not really a whole lot he can look to accomplish with 4 HP. And Hayes is looking directly at him if he tries to peek out from T-Con. Tarek not necessarily watching the short lane, but there we go. Even a little bit of pre-fire coming through the wall there takes him down. So now you're looking at Uber. Cutler's got the angle lined up for Uber. Not a whole lot that the guys will be able to do towards the end of the round there. Great hold from CLG, and Enemy finally utilizing a strategy that does not end up working so well.
I expect him to just go back to the brute force tactics that was working out for him in the past. It's back to a double up here for the CT side of CLG. So a fast push on outside, get in the face of these oppers, and then all of a sudden you've got map control, site control, bomb planted, and you're in a post-plant situation and probably good positioning. So I would like to see him go fast again, and it looks like they're going to go back to that outside strategy as 3 players coming down here towards Ivy.
But it's not going to be such a fast execute this time. Enemy just going to line themselves up to get some pressure going down towards Ivy here. Nifty taking down JDM. Managed to peek out there. Tarek still has an op to work with too, and he's gotten aggressive, but he's pushed over here into the back of the B-bomb site. Having himself a little bit of a duel with Uber there, but he's going to end up backing up, and Tarek using a lot of utility to hold them back for the time being. Dropping a molly on the floor. Going to throw a smoke as it starts to fade away too. They've got the bomb just around the corner, but I think they're trying to save that depending on how the Ivy push goes. If this goes right, they'll try to go for ladder room and execute on towards the A-bomb site, but if it goes badly, they'll just take it over there towards the back of the B site and go for an execute over here towards the B site instead. But they're going to drop in, they go for the A site, and what do you know? It goes perfectly well. You're just down to Tarek. He rotated in quickly enough, but now he's alone in a 1 versus 3. Picks up the 1 kill in the Nifty, but moving out from Z with basically 0 utility is going to be a very hard retake to make, so much better to just sit back and save the gun.
Yeah, not only that, but these post-plant positions are very strong for a retake against an op. They've got 1 player up in heaven. They've got 1 player over here by ladder room who's actually going to be flanking up here. So Uber is on the hunt, and if he can find Tarek playing in the inside train yard, if Uber can actually find him and get rid of that rifle going into the final round of the half, they're going to have absolutely nothing to work with. Tarek has got $3,200. He'll be able to buy a rifle into this final round, but getting the op out of his hands is going to be of the utmost importance right here. So Uber needs to start moving.
He moves out there. Should see the rifle. Now move in, execute upon it, and yes, he is going to be able to take him down. Not going to be able to scavenge the op. However, that should not matter too adversely. They've already got one sitting on a Nifty, and they'll be able to take that into this round here, the final round, and there's still plenty of cash rolling for this team too. So we see Enemy striking right back, and CLG, regardless of the outcome here, is still going to have a very, very bad CT half that they're working from, jumping into the second half now to try and work it back from the T side. Things are looking, I would say a little bit better for that on the last map, but still, it's going to be on train and not going to get rough regardless. And CLG is going to kick into the full gear themselves. They try to make a push closer up onto the A-bomb site, but it only ends up being a 1-for-1 trade. And now they've got kind of Hayes strapped out in the open here behind E-Box. He picks up 1 more kill before ending up going down. And not just him, but Uber moved in and took down Fugly too. So the defenses have been stripped. And the only 2 players left alive just have upgraded pistols.
Cutler is on a cheeky flank here from ladder room, and he spots an AK he really wants to get. But Uber finds one, and Nifty is watching for this push around the backside. And there it is, 13-2, or pardon me, 12-3. being your halftime scoreline here. And EnemyGG on their T side, absolutely massive for them. And this should be put to bed really quickly.
Yeah, I expect not a very big fight to be put up here. Unless we see the pistol round victory coming out for CLG. I feel like that could give them some strength, as Enemy has had some problems on this map in the past. CLG tries to play their strats a little bit trickier here with trying to throw fakes and whatnot, or at least trying to cut off rotations. If they can accomplish that, there actually have been a lot of cases in the past where Enemy's sort of been overwhelmed in a lot of rounds and just was not able to hold a very good CT side together. Also, economy management in quite a few sets in the past too has been a big problem for Enemy. So I wouldn't say it's over just as of yet, but with a scoreline like this, it's very, very hard to mess it up.
Yeah, I mean, they've played Train one other time so far this season, and it was against Complexity, and they only managed to get 6 rounds on their CT side. So they've definitely had struggles on the CT side of Train so far. Actually, pardon me, they've actually played this map twice and lost both times on it. The first time was at the very beginning of the season where they played against Renegades, where Yam went absolutely nuts and went 42 and 14 on them.
Yeah.
And they only got 8 rounds on their CT side that time around. They lost 16 to 12. And then against Complexity, they only got 6 rounds on their CT side. So it's definitely still doable for CLG, although highly unlikely.
All right, well, we're going live now, guys. So let's take a look at it here. CLG down, not necessarily out just yet, but a pistol round and second round victory in the favor of Enemy might as well make that happen now. So for CLG, they're basically on the chopping block here, and they've got to put all of their effort into this round here. Otherwise, they might be knocked out pretty quickly.
Yeah, and actually one of the things to note at halftime so far, Uber, he finished that half at 22 and 6. He was doing 158.1 average damage per round for his team on Enemy's side. So a lot of damage being dealt from the hands of Uber. So that's really one of the players, like, we need to get him off the map because he has been such a pain in our ass so far in this entirety of this map.
But CLG starting off slowly once again now, lining up over here just outside of the B site. And Cutler trying to throw the flash outside, but actually messes it up a little bit. Thankfully, the execute's pretty slow, so not having that flash should be of very little consequence to these players. So pushing onto the A-bomb site, looking to get the plant pretty quickly here too. They're just going to have the objective to make sure they have that force available, but still also picking up the first kill too. Terika is able to find Nifty. They're going to molly off Z, so both the mainline along with Uber can't get in there. Hayes even jumped on top the ticket box from the bomb train, picked up mainline. Uber did trade him out, but still, he's done his job at this point. Now it's Tarek's turn to play. Picks up Lucky, has some of the final players on lockdown here, but Relic's able to take down Tarek, so things are not secure just as of yet. JDM with a triple shot, taking down Uber, so it all falls to Relics. He's got an HE that he's going to throw up top there, but it's a little off the mark, and now he's surrounded. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. And as he is going to be out in the open, Cutler makes quick work of him with the assistance of Fugly to give CLG the pistol in the second half.
Yep, and that's exactly what they needed to have happen going into this one. They needed to pick up that pistol round, get a little bit of confidence back after that first just abysmal half. And CLG, now it's within the realm of possibility that they can close this one out and try to bring this one back. A lot of SMGs being bought out here. Tarek does go for the AK. He was the big-time player. If that actually, it's kind of disappointing that only one of those nades made it into Z Hall, or into T-Con, pardon me. So much damage onto the T side. Goodness gracious, mainline.
Yep, I think 3 of those players are main lines work there, bringing down Tarek that low, JDM that low, and I forget who the third player he hit was that tried to push up, but I'm pretty sure he hit him pretty low
Cutler.
too. Yeah, so Cutler's already dead. Tarek and JDM are one-shottable. The problem is though, is that Enemy have sort of lost the numbers. You're relying on one player getting lucky and having either Tarek or JDM pushing in their direction. They're definitely not going to do it. It's Fugly taking the duel, and Uber has not really done a very good job of trying to keep himself hidden. So with that PG-15 only 25 HP, he should be dispatched without him finding any of the trade kills.
Yeah, this will be another round for CLG. It looks like he's just going to look for some exit kills here. And that's just crazy. Mainline, I feel like he dinked 3 players. He killed 1. I know that he killed 1 coming out from Ivy, or from Ladder Room, but the biggest part about it was just how much friggin' damage he did. That was insane.
Yeah, CLG like bungled up inside of a ladder room there. They didn't really like do a very good job of just pushing out and trying to just go for him, take him down. You know, you got 3 players. As long as you can move out and try to play with him a little bit there, you should just be able to easily overwhelm him. But for whatever reason, they hesitated and they sat inside, which just gave him time and time again to take these 1-versus-1 aim duels, and he was on point with the aim itself. So did quite a bit of damage before going down. Ultimately, though, as we were mentioning, he only gets 1 kill, so the fact that the players are going to be down at 2 and 4 damage is not really going to matter in the grand scheme of things. Not able to execute him, so CLG still make it out of that round rather unscathed.
Yeah, luckily enough for them. But this time around, it's going to be another full save. Not much in the investment either, again, this round for Enemy. And it's just going to be a peek down here towards T-Con. Nifty's going to go down immediately into the round. Color pushing with that UMP. He's going to find a headshot onto Uber. He's got one more around the backside of the train to find, and he will find it. Mainline down and out. And they've already infiltrated the Z hallway, so Lucky right on the other side of this one. Actually, JDM gets dinked by his teammate, but he does manage to find that SMG kill anyway. And that's going to leave Relics in a 1 versus 5. So not a lot that he can do here.
Relics is a blaze, though. So there you go. He's going to pick up 1 kill at least on the Fugly. Looking for more, but he gets caught trading guns. JDM is going to be able to take him down. There we have it. CLG catching back up a little bit here, but still a little bit more work to do before they actually tie this game up. 6-12. And Enemy will get some guns into their hands, so we'll see how they actually resist this now that they can get themselves into a fair fight.
So now we see them come up to an even keel. AWP in the hands of Nifty. Going to be rifles alongside that. No double scope setup here for the CTs just yet. Relics has been known to pick up the op on this map in the past. And now we see a little bit of harassment here at T-Con while the rest of them gear up to go towards the inside bomb site. And Mainline is going to be the sole defender here, but that nade, I thought it was actually going to do a lot of damage, but apparently not.
Mainline's paying all of his attention towards upper, switches his aim just in time, and while all this is happening too, Tarek moves out from T-Connector and picks up a kill. Mainline, he's going to realize he's being wrapped right now, so he's going to push up towards the train, tries to use it as cover, but still is going to be shut down. Relic responds by shutting down JDM, but they're still holding on this site, not because this dude, but Fugly pushed up. He is going to get taken down by Uber. They're still in this, and again, the damage that's been done to CLG, still very early on in the round. Tarek at 14 HP, Hayes at 5. They're easy pickings now for these guys on Enemy if they can find them. Cutler's going to be the big player to try and hold these duels, but that doesn't work out as Relic takes him down, so everything falls to Tarek. But take a look, Tarek's moving in for a flank. They have no clue what's happening. Nifty realizes it, but it's a bit too late. So Uber just going to jump onto the bomb. Tarek realizes it's already being defused. He has to run away from this now to save his gun, and Enemy is going to strike back and win the first gun round.
Yeah, that's very, very well done. 13-6 is your scoreline. Nice retake there from the CT side of Enemy. And again, they're going to put the op back in the hands of Nifty, not having nearly as much of an impact in this matchup as he did in the last. But the big thing is Uber, man. He is having one hell of a matchup right here. 25-8 for him. He's leading the server not only just by kills, but by a tremendous amount as well. The closest behind him is Tarek at 15. So he's 10 kills ahead of the second place player. So that is very impressive in its own right. And Enemy now 3 rounds away from shutting this one down.
Tarek finding his entries again, though. Pops outside of the smoke and T-Connector. Lucky, completely unaware of the situation that's about to unfold, just stands still, lines up the headshot for him, and down he goes. So the guys from Enemy are already going to split up a little bit here, still keeping most of their efforts concerned around the A-bomb site, and Mainline is the single defender of B, and he's getting pretty aggressive with his positioning too. He's looking through the smoke a little bit here. He might be able to catch Cutler, but he actually doesn't notice him walking up on top of the catwalk there. So not going to spot him as of yet, as Cutler now goes for the smoke application down the ramp itself. He's also going to flashbang out here to try and make a little bit of noise.
Hasn't really pulled a rotation. Uber's still sitting in heaven right now, waiting for this push to come in, but they are starting to reconvene over towards the inside box halls, and if they do manage to go in towards the inside bomb site, well, now they've got a rotation. Nifty finds one. Relic's coming inside. They drop the Molotov out as well. That's going to stave off that push for just a little while longer. Nade onto the sidewalk as well. That should hit Hayes pretty hard, and it does drop him to 44. Still trying to get in, but it's Mainline to find 2 before all is said and done. JDM going to be your LMS. And it's going to be down to a 1 versus 3. Not a lot JDM can do. 30 seconds on the clock. Not a lot of time, and he doesn't have control of the bomb. 2 players in the back of the train yard, and Nifty is scoped in on his position.
So Relic's trying to inch back in here too, but he's looking in the complete wrong direction. JDM is giving himself away. 15 seconds left on the clock. Gonna be looking for the save here at this point as he throws the smoke over towards the ramp, allowing him for safe crossing to get the heck out of here. And he's just gonna run and seed around the Enemy yet again.
So 14-6, he does save the op into the next round, presumably. They are going for a little bit of a hunt here, but there's nobody even close. Yeah, and that's the biggest part about it right here. 14-6, they have the op. They've got a little money to buy behind this, but it's probably going to have to be pistols and armor. And I expect to see pretty fast strat here from the CLG side. Just take over the outside control and let JDM pick from a distance and try to make something happen quickly into this round because their slow strats haven't been working whatsoever.
CLG actually just going to try to take a page out of what Enemy we're using here too. Bit of a slower play is not working. Oh, okay. Well, let's just go directly out onto the site and see how this fares for us. So they're going to go directly for the rush over here out towards A. Initially, actually not really finding anyone from Enemy, but now they start to walk into them. This definitely is not going to repeat the feats that Enemy pulled off in the last half here. This is a shutdown. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just on Tarek, sitting behind the bomb train, but he's doing some work. Takes down Mainline and Uber, down to a 1 versus 2 now, and he's got the bomb controlled too, but there's a minute and 20 seconds left on this clock. So he definitely wants to try and play with these guys a little bit, finding another one of the players remaining here from Enemy, but not going to be able to take him down. As he runs down that lane, there's nowhere to hide. So Nifty peeks out and takes him out of the play with the op.
Yeah, and again, that was just speed up the strat, go outside, hit things as hard as they possibly can, and then it just ends up being a very passive back of the train yard hold for the enemy side. So Enemy reading that play correctly, put themselves into positions to be successful, and now it's going to be another force up here for the CLG squad, and they're looking to go down 16-6. This could be them faltering and going 1-5 on the season right here.
That'll keep them very, very low in the rankings indeed. Granted, though, they've had some pretty difficult matchups so far. They haven't had like the matchups versus the lower teams as of yet, but 5 losses this early in the season can still not be good for you heading into the later portions of it.
Yeah, no, especially when you're supposed to be one of the top tier teams in the North American scene. Getting 5 losses on your record early on is definitely not fantastic to start off your season. And now the push comes to the outside train yard. Uber, he's got a bird's eye view of this one, but he's going to go ahead and resign from that position. Drops on down, does significant damage to a second player through the smoke. And this should be Enemy's round to win. However, Fugly making a little bit of a case for himself, but there it is. Mainline coming from the back lines. Fugly gets shut down as well. Uber doing work. He's got himself 28 kills in this matchup, and it's going to be over here in just a second. 22 rounds played, and he's got 28 kills. That is a pretty solid scoreline in this one.
Yeah, so with not a whole lot left here, it's basically GG at this point. Cutler trying to pull off the impossible. Where's that nade out? Close enough? Nope, not really. Does 7 damage to Uber, brings him down to 13, just in line with Mainline. 35 seconds left, so we can still troll around a little bit here and try to bait some of these players out. Not going to be able to spot Uber, at least doesn't fire back. I don't think he wants to confirm his location, but he peeks out. There's a double stack there anyway, both Nifty and Uber were waiting for him just behind it. So Enemy are going to close things out here, and the set between these two tonight is going to end up going 1 for 1.
Yeah, so Enemy moved to 6-4 on the season, and CLG to 1-5 on the season. So they're off to a really rough start so far in Pro League, and if they don't pick up the pace, then they're going to lose their opportunity to make it to the LAN at the end of the season, which would be tremendous. We've already seen that happen to the likes of Virtus Pro, losing 8 straight at the very beginning of the season. They've already lost their chance at making it to the Pro League finals, I believe. So statistically, CLG, they're on the cusp already. And like you said, they haven't played some of the lower tier teams, but Enemy with the roster revamp right here could kind of be considered to be one of the middle pack or lower side teams in the Pro League, and they just split a series with them 1-1. So what does that say about CLG, especially getting beat up pretty bad on train?
I feel like you're not giving Enemy enough credit there personally. I still feel like Enemy is actually one of the more solid teams in NA right now. Just looking off of the recent performances over the past couple weeks, I would still place them somewhere around like the mid to high level of a lot of the teams in North America. So they actually might be in contention for the top 4, if I'm completely honest. If this performance keeps up and Nifty keeps playing the way he does and remains their permanent 5th, he's still playing like a dream right now for this team. So there's no reason to not kick him off. This might be the full roster, and they're still looking very strong, especially just judging from that set versus CLG. But yeah, like we were saying, CLG has also played against only C9 and Renegade so far. Granted, dropping all 4 of those games is still not going to be good, but those are probably some of the hardest matchups they were going to be looking at all season. So they're down, but they're not out just as of yet. However, that is going to close out the first match for now, guys. The second one should be coming up here pretty shortly, and it's going to be EnemyGG Esports taking on Team Liquid. So stick around for that coming up in just about 5 minutes right here at the ESL Pro League for North America.